Sometimes there's things that happen in life that you just can't unsee. And last night, there was an example of that in the Major League Baseball stadium. And boy, oh boy, are we going to get to that. But first, Bryce Harper's rehab assignment is supposed to start tonight in Lehigh Valley. The Phillies could get the reigning NL MVP back by Monday. Could have him back in the lineup as a designated hitter. Phillies also get a 4-1 victory over the Cincinnati Reds to help get the stank of the New York Mets off of them, and it feels good. Rob Thompson talked about a lot yesterday about how this team could bounce back, and they certainly were able to do that against the Reds. And one of the big reasons they were able to do that because Nick Castellanos is incredible against the NL Central, as we were finding out. And what he did yesterday against the Reds was no exception. 436-foot home run. Bryson Stott followed that with an upper deck home run to right. Alec Boehm was 3 for 4 last night. JT Realmuto had a couple of hits, all big nights from those guys. And Noah Syndergaard, Thor himself, a 7-inning performance for the Phillies. 89 pitches in that performance, allowing just 1 run and 3 hits. That is a guy that I didn't even expect the Phillies to get at the trade deadline when they made that acquisition. In terms of that good of a pitcher, I thought he would be around the quality start range more consistently than anything. But to get 7-inning performances from him, to get sub-90 performances from him, to get a hell of a lot more strikes than balls thrown, and to only have 1 run performance from him, pretty damn good. Love seeing that from the Phillies trade deadline acquisition that they needed to bring in here to bolster their lineup. Now, rotation. One thing I do want to say before we go any further about this Phillies team is that Rob Thompson did make an announcement last night. Ranger Suarez was supposed to get the start today in Game 2 of this series against the Reds. That's not happening. Suarez will now pitch on Wednesday. He'll get that start. Tonight, you're going to see Christopher Sanchez get another start for the Phillies this season. He is 2-2 with AAA Lehigh Valley this season with a 3.50 ERA, and the Phillies need the lefty to come up here, the 25-year-old lefty, and basically push everybody back for a day. Because Rob Thompson looked at what was going on with Aaron Nola, with Zach Wheeler, and said, why don't you guys take a minute? Why don't you guys take a minute? Excuse me. You guys just relax for a second. And we're going to bring up somebody from the minors to just make sure everyone can get that extra day of rest. So credit to Rob Thompson for that. Credit to the Phillies front office for making that decision. I'm happy that the Phillies won last night. Again, 4-1 victory. I am very happy that it does help. It does feel like a shower after that awful Mets series. And it feels like you can definitely get a little bit of that bad odor off of you. This was a game that I noticed last night with the Phillies where they had something to prove. That's what it felt like. And look, anytime you put up runs, you could say that. And I know 4 runs isn't anything worth bragging about, but it's better than what they had been doing. I know the previous game they put up a bunch of runs. That's great. 9 runs. That's fantastic. But in this particular game, we are facing that far inferior opponent like you are in the Reds. You want to go out there and take care of business. Nick Castellanos did that with his home run. Bryson Stott followed with the back-to-back jacks for the Phillies yesterday. So that's ultimately what you want to see, and that's what went down in that second inning. Noah Syndergaard took care of things on the mound as well. So it was a game that I felt like the Phillies from Jump Street were going to go out there and just handle their business. And yesterday was another example of the Phillies not doing the thing that they had done for so long, which is play down to their opponents. Where they're a better team than the Marlins, yet they continuously lost to the Marlins. They're a better team than the Reds. They're not playing down to the Reds. They're going to win this series against the Reds. I have a lot of confidence they're going to take 3 of 4 from the Reds in this series, even with Christopher Sanchez coming up from the minor leagues to throw against this lineup. I am confident that the Phillies are going to win this series 3-1. I want to be ballsy and say they're going to sweep, but I don't even think I want to go there because I don't want to put the jinx on them. I don't want to hex them. I don't want to be too optimistic. But all in all, I think the Phillies have put in the rearview mirror that argument of why do they play down to their opponents. And I think a big reason of that is Rob Thompson. I pointed out yesterday that after Game 2 of the series against the Mets, he came out and said, this team's going to the playoffs. Just relax. Things will fall into place as long as we relax, not press, not grab the bat too tight, not grip the ball too hard. If we just relax, we're playoff bound. Like, in no way, shape, or form is that a Jimmy Rollins, we're the team to beat type of statement from Rob Thompson. But I think a couple players in the locker room heard that. A couple players in the clubhouse heard that. And I'm sure Rob Thompson told him the same thing. Not that there was any overdramatic closed-door meeting, but just, guys, we are good enough to make the playoffs. Stay the course. We're going to be a playoff team. Padres were idle last night. Phillies and Padres are now tied for the second wild card spot. The Brewers also won. They played the Dodgers. They won last night, so pretty much everything remains the status quo when it comes to the Brewers in the wild card standings. So that's what we got. Before we get to the thing that really was rattling around in my brain last night, I do want to let you hear from Rob Thompson about how this team does right the ship and how even after they have an abysmal series against the Mets, they bounce right back and do exactly what they're supposed to do against an inferior opponent like the Reds.
Yeah, it feels great, but like I said before, these guys bounce back. They really do. Their memory isn't very long, and they just keep grinding away.
That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Slow grinding away. Keep it going. Folks, we're going to have an early guest on the show today because this man is he's a ballsy man, and I'll get to this in 1 second. For the people on the podcast, if you haven't seen this video of what I'm about to show, congratulations. It's something you can't unsee. For the people watching this program, if you have seen this already, I apologize, but I have to show it for context. This was horrifying. I thought it was a joke. It was not a joke. What I'm about to show you, it's like an old episode of The Twilight Zone. What I'm about to show you is a Yankees fan at Yankee Stadium during last night's Yankees-Mets game who took a hot dog, punctured the hot dog from tip to tip, placed the hot dog, the now hollow hot dog, basically has a tunnel running through it, into a cup of beer, and then began to use the hot dog as a straw. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if you're eating breakfast right now, 1, 2, 3, look away! And the hot dog's not a sandwich. It's been a straw this whole time. Now, if you notice in the video, he does it sheepishly. Like he's almost like trying to he's trying to like cover it up so no one else sees what he's doing. Just put yourself in the situation where you're at a baseball game and maybe you're chatting up the guy next to you. Maybe the guy next to you is chatting you up. You're talking baseball. You're making friends like you do at a ball game, right? And just all of a sudden this guy's like, oh, yeah, I don't know if Aaron Judge will get to 60 home runs, but he certainly has a chance. And he starts hollowing out a hot dog. And while he's doing this, and then all of a sudden he just no thanks. Apparently this is a thing, and it has a name. It's called a glizzy. Okay, here to attempt a glizzy. Let's see if he's ready to party here. Are we ready here, Brendan? Brendan Petrilli. Brendan, how are you, bud?
I'm doing well, Mark. I'm doing well.
Oh, it's good to have you on the program. Now, Brendan is a social media guru for the show, media producer, if you will. He takes care of a lot of the posts that you'll see around, right? Brendan, you do a fine job for us, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, since last November, it's been great.
Damn right. Now, just for everyone at home, I posted this video because Brendan asked you, you got something going on later today, so after the show, you want to make sure you take care of business for us, and then you run around and you have your fun because you're a party animal. Just look at that shirt. You're a party animal.
Yeah, no, right. For sure. You always got to stay ready.
So I post this. I said, this is what we're going to talk about, aside from the Phillies, aside from the Eagles. This is what we're going to talk about on the show tomorrow. And you're like, I'd try that. So I just want to, I'm saying this simply because you volunteered that. I didn't source out our staff and be like, hey guys, who's doing this? Somebody's doing it. You volunteered to sample the glizzy.
Yeah.
Can you confirm that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm always on, I'm down for the content. I'm always in it for the grind, Whatever it takes.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have a beer?
I do have a beer.
What do you have? What are you drinking? What are we sampling here?
What we got a Miller Lite. No free
A Miller Lite.
though.
Okay, that's a free shout out. Yeah, that's fine. All right, you have a Miller Lite. You have a glass. Do you have a hot dog?
I do have a glizzy.
Okay, you have it. It's not. I don't think it's a glizzy yet, but
No.
you're right. No, okay. So you are ready. Is the hot dog punctured?
The hot dog, I pre-punctured it with my fork here. The integrity of my hot dog might not be as great as Yankees hot dog, but we're gonna give it a shot.
I will say for the people on the podcast, I would describe your hot dog as shriveled. That's the word I would use. So the hot dog is shriveled, and the hot dog is punctured from tip to tip. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You've never tried this before. This is the first. Did you even hear of this before this was made famous yesterday by this Yankees fan?
No.
Okay.
I had no idea this was such a thing.
Okay. All right. Now, for hold on one second. For the people on the podcast, I did post the video on my social media on Twitter. So if you want to see the glizzy being taken, it's there. All right, Brendan, are we ready to sample the glizzy?
Yep, I'm ready to rock.
All right, I'm going to watch our monitor here, and I'm going to see how this goes. All right, go ahead. So let's see you drop the shriveled hot dog into the glass. Can we see that, or did you already do that? Okay, there we go. Okay, he's okay. You have inserted it into the glass. Go for it. Here we go. He is taking a sip. I don't know how this is working. There's a okay, you can. All right. Now here, just the sound of it is horrible.
I'm getting more grease than beer.
You're getting more. See, that's what I would think.
Oh.
And then I also would think it would like suction closed a little bit. Did you remove the? No, you could take the hot dog out of the beer. You don't have to drink.
Yeah, I don't. I'm very impressed by that guy. I'm very impressed.
Well, something tells me he's done it before. It wasn't his first time. But you.
We'll give it one more go. Let's see.
Oh, God bless you. You're a hell of a. Oh, sweet Lord. Oh, man, he's going for seconds. Here we go. This looks like it's really hard. It looks like you're trying to drink a McDonald's milkshake, like fresh out of the machine. You just took a bite of the hot dog. All right, you know what? That's a power move. I don't fault you for that one.
Honestly, it gives it a good flavor to the dog.
To the dog, well, it's like a beer brat or like a beer hot dog. That itself is fine.
It's like you're fermenting it a little bit, you know.
Yes, there's beer brewers in upstate PA, Wisconsin, Germany. This is how you ferment the beer better. Yeah. That was a terrible German accent. Oh my God! All right, so does the beer now taste like a hot dog?
No, the beer's fine. It's not too greasy. Yeah.
It's not too greasy, but the hot dog itself was lackluster.
Yeah. I would not recommend trying this at home.
Oh,
you get more grease than actual beer through the straw.
Straw. Okay.
Not the stupidest thing I've tried. To say the least, but,
well, now I have to ask, what is?
One 4th of July, we my aunt, she gets a pig for the 4th of July, and they have it like out on the table, you know, it's pretty cool.
Pig roast.
And my cousin and I, you know, after, you know, mid 4th of July, you're having a good time. You know, oh, let's grab the ear and let's grab the eye and let's try that. So that was the ear was fine. The eyeball was
good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, pots and pans. Good for, and he's still drinking the beer. Good for you. Atta fella. Way to be. Right, you do great work. We'll be sure to check all grammar a little bit more after the show. But great job, buddy. I appreciate you. Appreciate the hustle.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Mark. This hasn't what I was expecting coming on the show for the first time, but I'll take it.
I made my first on my personal TikTok account. I made my first TikTok post, and it was this video with my facial reaction to it. So it's a 12-hour period of firsts for you and I, my friend. Brendan, thank you so much. Great job. And just for the record, will you ever have a glizzy again?
Yeah, probably. It'll take a week, but we'll be back on the grind.
God bless you, brother. Thanks so much. Brendan Petrilli, everybody. Thank you so much, brother.
Yep. See you.
All right. See you, bud. Thank you very much. Yeoman's work. The man does fine work. He was wearing, by the way, for the people, it was like one of them Hawaiian shirts. It was like one of them Hawaiian Phillies shirts that he was donning for the program. I'm not into food shaming. I'm really not. But this is something that like I couldn't wrap my head around yesterday. I was watching this. It popped up during the Phillies game. The Phillies were delayed an hour because of inclement weather. And it popped up on the old timeline there. And I believe the last time I looked, it had like 2.5 million views. 2.5 million views. And I was thinking to myself, this guy is going to cash out on Cameo or any other, like he is going to be a superstar. And New York Nico, I believe is the gentleman's name, that actually took the video and put it out there on the old social media. It is insane. I've never seen, at a baseball game, I've never seen anything like that. People were making fun of that lady a couple years back who I've actually met, who is dunking her chicken tenders in the Coca-Cola and eating them. That's okay, a little hydration, fine. But drinking through a hot dog, thanks, but no thanks. I consider the show a public service, and I know that you guys couldn't go the rest of your day without seeing that, without hearing about that. So there it is, the glizzy. And people, I didn't even know it was a thing, but people were commenting on my repost of it and saying that this was something that is actually popular in the underground, evidently. But that happened, and I couldn't let the rest of the day go without having somebody either try that, which Brendan steps up to the plate, no pun intended. Thank you, Brendan. Appreciate that. And at least try to dissect it a little bit further. Because I lost sleep last night over that. Like, what the hell is he doing? What is he? Why? Why? Does he really love turtles? Like he doesn't want to use an actual straw? And by the way, speaking of texture, the cardboard straw is nope. No thanks. I'd rather drink from the glass, and whatever's on the glass, that's fine. I'd rather drink from that than have that cardboard straw. Holy Lord. So thanks again to Brendan. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys seem to be enjoying this as well. Wait, a glizzy is other name for the hot dog, Mark? Is it really? I thought the glizzy was the name. Like when I looked it up, there were people that were literally drinking like martinis through hot dogs. And I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently it's a big thing. I'll never try it. That looks disgusting. So the Eagles, actually one last thing on Bryce Harper. Here's the plan with the Phillies, according to Rob Thompson before the game yesterday. Bryce Harper will start his rehab assignment tonight in Lehigh Valley. Now, I know in Philadelphia there's supposed to be some scattered showers, some thunderstorms maybe. I know we had rain yesterday. Like I said, it delayed the game. But Lehigh Valley, you have Bryce Harper expecting to start his rehab assignment tonight as a designated hitter. One move, the fallout from this is that it appears that Derek Hall will be sent back down or has been sent back down to AAA. With Bryce Harper coming back, Bryce Harper will take over the designated hitter spot. There was some hope, some very cautious optimism that he might be able to go back into right field when he comes back from this IL stint. That's not the case. He's going to go back as a designated hitter because his elbow was still bothering him. He originally was throwing okay. Now he's not. So he's going to go back to that designated hitter role. And let's thank the baseball gods that the designated hitter rule is now in the National League. Otherwise, Bryce Harper would have no shot of coming back and even playing because of that elbow. But he is coming back from the thumb injury. He's going to start his rehab assignment in Lehigh Valley. He's going to be a designated hitter over there. The plan is, according to Rob Thompson, to have him DH every night and maybe give him the day off Sunday if he gets tired. If not, he will rejoin the club when they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on Monday. So a week from yesterday, Bryce Harper could be back in the Phillies lineup. And as I said already, right now, at this given time, the Phillies are in a situation where they occupy the second wild card spot along with the San Diego Padres. The Milwaukee Brewers are a game and a half behind the Phillies and the Padres in the wild card standings for that second spot, and third as well, when you think about it. But right now, if the Phillies are able to just stay where they are over the next 6 days, the wait is over for Bryce Harper. The reigning NL MVP will rejoin a lineup that has now fought its way into the second wild card spot in the National League. If they maintain, if they do what they're supposed to do, against this Reds team and at least win 3 or 4. They do what they're supposed to do and take 3 games from the Pirates or 2 of 3 from the Pirates. Win that series against the Pirates. And then handle their business when things start up in Arizona. You'll see Bryce Harper back in the lineup of a team that is bound for the playoffs. And that'll be a little bit before September. A little bit before September. The man is an absolute unicorn. This is what we have to look forward to. When we get past the Mets series, when we get past people drinking beers through hot dogs, we look forward to Bryce Harper coming back and rejoining this lineup. That's what we're talking about, folks. And that's what I'm excited for. By the way, very quietly, Nick Castellanos, and maybe because things were kind of highlighted by the idea that the Mets blew the Phillies out of the water, but Nick Castellanos got a 12-game hitting streak going for himself. He's raised his batting average 12 points, 13 points over the span of that 12-game hitting streak. Good for Nick Castellanos to see him get another home run last night. Dare I say, maybe, and it feels weird saying this about a guy with a 12-game hitting streak, but maybe the guy is finally heating up. Anytime he does anything good, oh, maybe this is it. Give me a hell of an end to August, Nick Castellanos. Talking about the power numbers. Give me a hell of an end to the month of August. If he does that, you get Bryce Harper back in this lineup, things are going to look pretty damn good for this Phillies team going forward. On top of that, I was looking this up with Alec Boehm with his 2-home run game 2 games ago against the Mets and 6 RBIs. That's great. I believe he's the first Phillies player to do that again against the Mets since Ryan Howard did it. But Alec Boehm has never hit more than 3 home runs in a month. He's sitting on 3 home runs right now. He's never hit more than 3 home runs in a single month throughout the 3 years he's been in Major League Baseball, 2+ years he's been in Major League Baseball. He has hit 3 home runs in a month 4 different times. It's a weird milestone to look at, but when you see a guy like Alec Boehm, you're expecting in the position he plays, third base, you're expecting a little bit more pop out of that bat. It's great that he's hitting 292 now. It's great that he had 3 hits last night, all of them singles. But I am waiting for the moment where it clicks over to where some of these singles actually turn into home runs. Some of these doubles turn into home runs, where they always say home runs are mistakes. You don't go up to the batter's box looking to hit a home run. You get the right pitch, you put the right swing on it, and boom, look, there's a home run. I think there's going to be a moment where that clicks over for Alec Boehm. I think one day in this league, he'll be a 20 home run hitter, a 25 home run hitter. I think he has that. I think if he puts a little bit more mass on that body, then he can be looking at a guy that can hit 30 home runs. But right now, he's just not that guy. I think that he'll eventually grow into that as his Major League career goes on. If you're this good a hitter now, and really the first 2 of the 3 years he was in the majors, he showed you that he can be a good hitter. And right now, hitting 292 in the majors is pretty damn good. And that's overall. And he's been even better over the last 2 months of the season than 292. So if he can do that at this level, at this age, so young and so inexperienced, still very green, then I think eventually he'll grow into being that power bat you can have at the third base spot. Not that he's going to hit you 40 home runs or 50 home. He's not Aaron Judge. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying you can have a guy that can hit you 20 to 25 home runs. I think that is what lies in Alec Boehm. I think he is better than what we have seen. I think if you could be a 292 hitter and you could provide some pop, you're going to be a third baseman in the major leagues for a long time. And I know, yes, he makes mistakes. He makes errors at third base. But I think through this year, you have really seen him start to grow as a Major League Baseball player. And one thing in particular has nothing to do with his bat. I think it's an easy thing to look at Alec Boehm and go, wow, he really is. Oh, wow, the average is up over the last 2 months. 292 hitter. This is great. Like the proof is in the pudding right there. You can look at a stat sheet and see that. But one of the things that I've noticed about Alec Boehm is that I feel like his transfer has gotten faster at the third base spot. When you're a tall body, when you're a lanky guy, everything looks like it's exaggerated when you're going through the motions, because you got it. When you're a 5'11" and a half guy like myself, it looks a little bit quicker. Not that I'm quick, but you know what I'm saying? A guy like Alec Boehm, one of the things I noticed over his first 2.5 years really in the Major League, up until recently, is that getting the ball out of his mitt, the transfer to his hand to throw, was a long process. And it looked even more belabored than it should for a guy who was, 6'4", 6'5"? So looking at Alec Boehm like that, I always thought that just took too long. I don't know what he's doing now, but it looks like it's a lot faster. There are plays that he makes at third base now where I used to be concerned whether or not he was going to be able to get the runner at first base with a routine grounder or one that he had to move a little bit left to right where he was going to have to dig in the mid and make the throw and all that. Whatever has happened, whatever they have done as a coaching staff, it looks like that throw is a lot sharper, a lot crisper, and that ball is coming out of the mid a lot faster when he makes that transfer to throw. That's one thing away from the obvious that I think he has done to improve as a third baseman in the field for the Phillies this year. Just one thing, keep an eye on it. Tell me if you notice the same thing when the next time you watch this Phillies team play. We'll get into some other things as the show goes on today, but I wanted to wrap that up with the Phillies conversation. I noticed on Monday, I was talking about Deon Cain. The Eagles wide receiver was drafted by the Colts, went to the Steelers, was it? And now is with the Eagles in the organization here with the Eagles. I am wildly impressed. I said this yesterday, but I noticed after yesterday's show, I wasn't the only one to be impressed with this young man. A couple of different publications picked up his performance against the Cleveland Browns. A couple of people, such as myself, noticed the chemistry he had with Gardner Minshew, the back shoulder throw, and all that stuff. Going down the sideline for back-to-back plays, beating the corner on that route. I think this guy's going to end up making the roster. And I think when it's all said and done, and predicted now today, the Eagles on this Tuesday have to make cuts by 4 p.m. today. They have to cut 5 players. I don't think Deon Cain is going to be one of those guys. I don't think Deon Cain is going to be one of those guys. I think if you're looking at the wide receiver spot, I think you're looking at A.J. Brown. I think you're looking at Devontae Smith. I think you're looking at Quez Watkins. I think you're looking at Zach Pascal. Jeez, blank for a second there. Zach Pascal. I think you're looking at Deon Cain. I think Rager ends up getting moved. Now, this isn't going to happen by the end of today. I'm just saying when they do have cuts, I don't think Deon Cain is going to be one of them. And then in a week, when they cut down to the final 53 for the regular season, I think Deon Cain is going to be on that list. He's not a rookie. He's got some NFL experience. He was in Indianapolis. He was drafted by Indianapolis when Nick Sirianni was over there as the offensive coordinator under Frank Reich. So there's a history there. But overall, I just watched the guy play, and I'm drawn. I think, as I was saying yesterday, he plays a physical style of wide receiver, and I think that's a welcome sight for this Eagles team. And it's a nice change of pace. I mean, he's 6'2", but he plays like he's 6'4" because he's so physical. His catching radius is good. I don't know what his wingspan is, but it looks like he has got a lot of room to make catches there, and has got a big target for the quarterback. I think he ends up making this team. I do think a guy that's going to be on the outs is Devin Allen. I know it's a great story, and I'm a big fan of Devin Allen, and I've certainly talked about how I've never been happier for a guy to score a touchdown. I don't think I've ever been more happy for a guy to score a preseason touchdown than I was Devin Allen with that goal, with that score that he had against the Browns this past Sunday. But for me, I don't think he is going to make the club. I think he, at best, will be a practice squad player sticking around. So that's what I predict for this Eagles roster. I know a lot of other people are jumping on that Deon Cain bandwagon as well. Let me tell you about my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right here in Philadelphia. Do what I do. When it comes to all your jewelry purchases, trust the man with the perfect price, Steven Singer. Anytime you go to buy something, a big purchase, you want to make sure you're getting that perfect price, right? You want to try to negotiate. You want to try to haggle. Steven Singer, you don't have to work for it. Steven Singer is giving you the perfect price every single day. So when you walk in, you don't have to feel the pressure of negotiating or haggling or the worry if somebody next to you is getting the better deal. No, the person next to you is getting an awesome deal. And guess who else is getting an awesome deal? You are. Because that's what the perfect price guarantee does at Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price each and every day online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Manscaped. Because, fellas, you want to look good everywhere, right? Well, that's why Manscaped has introduced the Platinum Package 4.0. It includes a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, all with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks, so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Plus, the Ultra Premium Body Wash 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant, crop reviver ball spray toner. Oh, you haven't lived, folks. anti-chafing boxers, and the Shed travel bag that you'll use to hold the goods that you'll be using to take care of your goods. That's how you say that. Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming, and now you can trust them with the whole shebang. Join 4 million men worldwide and trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with promo code Farzy. That's manscaped.com, 20% off with promo code Farzy. How about Freestone Farms CBD? FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. I'm sure you've tried a lot of different brands of CBD, but honestly, Freestone Farms CBD is something you will have to try. It's great after working out. It's great to help you relax. It's great to help put you to sleep. It's great at the end of the day. What's even more exciting is our friends at Freestone Farms CBD just unveiled an all-new strain menu with something supremely good. Some supremely good CBD at prices that you'll love. Check out FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off your Freestone Farms CBD order. The menu is something that will knock your socks off. Tropical tasting Bayox, it clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which I don't know if you've heard, is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. The genetics of these guys doesn't get any better. And they grow all their premium hemp flower in the Garden State with all organic inputs and IPM, so there's nothing synthetic from farm to jar. And after harvest, they carefully preserve all plant compounds with a perfect 3-month cure. Like a nice soppressata. Just one look or smell is enough to let you know it's CBD done right. And that this product is great for anyone looking to take a more natural approach to everything that they put in their bodies. And how would you like 20% off? Like I said, 20% off with promo code Farzy at Freestone Farms CBD, FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's jump into the chat. I can only imagine what the chat has in stock for us today. I can only imagine. Let's see what you guys got going on today. Kevin, what's going on? Sean, how are you? April, Jerry, what's going on? Julian. Noah Syndergaard and Ranger Suarez have been the best pitchers the last 2 weeks. Julian, truer words have never been spoken. Is Nola and Wheeler, are they going to step up? I hope so, because I was doing the numbers for you guys, and I pointed out that the Phillies have not had the Phillies have had one plus 500 September record in the last 9 years. They've had one. It was under Pete McCannon in 2017. They've had one. Or 2015. Mi scusi. They've had one plus 500 record in the month of September in the last 9 years. You want to talk about why the last 10, 11 years they haven't made the playoffs? It's because of September, mostly. I don't see that happening this time around. If the fit, like last year, it happened. I think there were 4 games under 500 last September. I think if Rhys Hoskins stays healthy last year with the way Bryce Harper came on, I think the Phillies would have made the playoffs. This year, getting Bryce Harper back, hopefully everything else stays status quo with no other injuries. And Wheeler and Nola, at least, hey, forget about them even being aces. Can we just get them to look like guys that could be third starters in rotations? Can we get the number 3 guys in rotations? Can we get that as opposed to like 1 and 1A or 1A and 1B? Can we get let's give me number 3. Give me a third starter role from those 2 guys for the rest of the season, and this team's making the playoffs. Give me that. But Suarez, Syndergaard absolutely have been the Phillies' best pitchers. And, Kyle Gibson was coming on strong, too, for a minute there. And not lately. Julian, see you. But Mally, what's going on? Good morning. Kyle, that viral hot dog stuff was nasty. Yes, it was. But I can't take my eyes away from it. It's like people on the road. And when we would have first-time guests on the show, we will have more first-time guests. By the way, Seamus Clancy will be a first-time guest. He'll join us for tomorrow's show. We're interviewing Seamus from PhillyVoice.com. We'll talk all Eagles and Phillies with him a little bit later on. So we got that going for us. But I used to always ask the question about traffic. The hot dog thing is a rubbernecker in traffic. Like people, there's an accident on the other side of the road, so they slow down so they can stare at it. Meanwhile, 95's backed up from Delaware to the stadiums. Oh, well, no way. Oh, look over there. I couldn't go on YouTube or anything and look this stuff up. But let me hold up this whole traffic. That's my number one pet peeve, probably in all of traffic. Right there. The rubber. I lose my mind when it happens. But it happens, and that's how society works. It's the accident on the side of the road. People talked about back in the day when Jerry Springer, and when I was in high school, Jerry Springer was like king of daytime television. And it was always described as the accident on the side of the road. You have to stop and look at it. It's not entertaining, but you got to look. Well, that's what the hot dog is, the glizzy. That's what that is. It's horrifying. Ah! Ladies, imagine being on a date with that guy. And you're out, you're having a good time. He orders a hot dog. You're like, why? You ordered a beer. That's normal. You can order a beer. That's fine. And a hot dog with no bun. Oh, carbs, Atkins? Is he trying to low carbs? And then as you're telling him about your day and like that time you studied abroad, he just punctures a hot dog, tip to tip, and boom. And apparently it's a thing. What are we looking at here? Popeye the Sailor Man. Thor is 4-0 as a Philly. Is an extension in order. I think they'll make that decision at the end of the season. But yeah, it very well could be. Also, the Phillies. Also the offense still stinks all August. Hoskins in his typical swoon. Also, Sanchez pitching Wednesday. It's on Twitter. I don't think so. After the game last night, I thought they said that Sanchez was pitching tonight. And Suarez was going, okay, I'll double check that. But thank you, Julian. Appreciate you. Probably the Sailors paid way too much. Vila. Left field, center field horror show right now. Julian, I'm not going to disagree with that. Like, I look at a guy like Zimmer, for instance, and I'm like, I don't understand what, like, you're a body. And here's what it reminds me of. And I know Brandon Marsh is injured. But here's what it reminds me of. I remember a year ago when Odubel Herrera was still in the minors, and you had Adam Hazley, you had Mickey Moniak, Scott Kingery was still a thought. And it was like, who in this organization is a center fielder? Mickey Moniak hadn't done anything to prove that he was going to be a center fielder in the big leagues. Adam Hazley was going through struggles. Odubel Herrera was down in the minor. People were like, Odubel Herrera's a center fielder. They're just not playing because of off the field stuff. I'm like, I think he has the lowest baseball IQ I've ever seen. It's not just the off the field stuff. They don't have a center fielder. And then they traded for one that they thought would be their center fielder for the future and still could very well be in Brandon Marsh. But now the Phillies, with him being injured, are back to square one, not having a center fielder. They bring in a 220 hitter to just fill a defensive role. And that guy already made error. I mean, has already made an error in the outfield against the Mets. I don't think you get anything from Zimmer. So yeah, you're back to that. And look, with Kyle Schwarber, you can at least get 34 home runs from him. Center field, nothing. April, I want the warm and fuzzies too before that Braves series. You got the Braves coming up in the middle of September. You got a bunch of big series between now and then. No question about that. Pitched Coonrod today. Should have used him in the ninth on Sunday. Julian, yeah, I'll disagree there. And I said, yeah, because I said it also on yesterday's show, that if David Robertson is calling you to tell you, I want to go in this ball game, if we take the lead, I want the ball, I'm willing to do that. I am not saying no to that. It didn't work out in the Phillies' favor, unfortunately. But first off, I love that David Robertson did that. And if you have a veteran like Robertson telling you that on the phone, I'm going to give him that baseball. But Coonrod pitched well yesterday. Bilotti pitched well yesterday as well. Julian, freaking LA can't beat Milwaukee. I know. Last night was terrible. Hey, Alyssa's back. What's up, Alyssa? I hope you didn't come right in on the glizzy going on, but if you did, welcome and good morning. We don't do that every day. Since the end of Sixers season, we haven't just... Let's try something weird. Maybe that's a segment. Maybe we should do that. What's going on? Jerry, how are you? Nasty Farzy, nasty. Oh, this is where we got to the glizzy. Alyssa, I think you came in at the right time. April, that shirt is amazing. I need one. I'm sure Brendan will send that to you. Farzy making staff drink at 6 a.m. Okay. All right. That's why acknowledged, and I screen grabbed it in our Slack channel that we used to communicate for the show. I screen grabbed it and I said, this was him volunteering. And he said on the show, he volunteered. You go, I tried that. I tried anything once. The guy told you about how he was at a pig roast with his family. He ate an ear. Okay. I'll eat just about anything. But if I look at something and I can't process it, like I can't process beer, hot dog straw, then I'm not going to try that. I've eaten crocodile. Gator. I've eaten alligator. I've eaten that. I was in New Orleans and I had that. It was like it's like chicken. It's fried, so it's like everything else is fried, but it was all right. Nothing great. It's like a chewy chicken, is what it was. Ostrich. I've had that. I would eat an ear. I'd eat an ear. I wouldn't drink a beer through a hot dog though. I do have my morals. I do have my standards. April, that hot dog needed a Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, promo code Farzy. First month free. Just pay $5 shipping. Sean Gillespie, good morning. That looks gross. I concur. It does look gross. Yeah, the grease thing is the most off-put in April. The weirdest episode ever. Yeah, you ain't kidding. This is where I'm confused. A glizzy is the other name for the hot dog? Interesting. I have never heard that. Sean Gillespie, that's an underground, quote unquote, I don't need. I agree. Philly Talk Podcast. What's up, fellas? Not the glizzy. Yeah, the glizzy. It happened. Mullet from the top rope from Okinawa. Mullet. I cork my glizzy with Blue Chews when I'm going yard with my lady. Thank you, Mullet. Tyvita. Oh, this is great. We have Alyssa and Tyvita coming back for this episode. Pots and pans. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, John Cheeseborough. What's up, bud? Nice to see you. Oh, wow. The chat really blew up right around here. Okay. A lot of people here. John Cheeseborough, nice to see you. Mullet, hello again. Good morning to everybody except Grandpa Joe, who stayed in bed for 20 years while his family struggled and only got out of bed to go to the chocolate factory. John, you're right. Those are some of my favorite memes on social media. And I just found out where Grandpa Joe is from. Grandpa Joe is from New York, apparently. And he's from an area in New York that has preserved row homes from like the mid 1800s, like perfectly pristine. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Apparently like Clint Eastwood's from the same neighborhood. Anyway, look it up. They just look it up from where they're from. I forget what it's called, but it's like it's that area. It's something Heights, Washington Heights or something like that. It's insane. John just saw the video of the hot dog. That's a fine morning for you. Dan is in the corner somewhere. Oh, yeah, probably. Okay. Dan Schwartz. I see what you're saying here. What else do we have? I heard about it and just saw the video. That's gross. I agree. Dan is in the corner. Oh, wow. John Cheesebro is already planning Ragerism's farewell edition. Let's hope for that. All right. Now this is bothering me because I could have sworn that Christopher Sanchez was going to pitch tonight. I could have sworn it, sir. But now it's bothering me. You seem pretty sure of yourself. I want to make sure that's the case because I don't want to give you guys wrong, horrible information. And then your guys derailed, basically. I don't want to do that because I've already grossed you guys out with the glizzy. And, we just can't have that. We just can't have it. Why is this not coming up? Why am I being a total boomer right now? Oh, Chris Sanchez will start Wednesday. Okay. That's weird. Today's Tuesday, right? I could have sworn it was the other way around. All right. Grazie. Thank you very much, Julian. Appreciate you, brother. Glad we got that straightened out. Let's get to our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Nice to see some people in there we haven't seen in a minute. April, every time you say glizzy, an angel loses its wings. Sorry, angels. But appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. Now our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. So Suarez will start tonight. Christopher Sanchez starts tomorrow. Phillies back in action today to continue this 4-game series with the Reds. Let's see if Nick Castellanos can make it to a 13-game hitting streak. Let's see if Nick Castellanos can also go yard once again. That'd be nice to see. Alec Boehm continue his hot ways at the plate. And let's see if we can see the Phillies tonight continue to get Bryson Stott going, because his bomb of a home run to the upper deck yesterday was insane. So Suarez gets the start against Lodolo. Lodolo, if you remember from last week, had himself a nice little outing against the Phillies. Apparently, he turned into Nolan Ryan. It was also the last start that he has made. It was one of his best starts of the season, if not his best start of the season. 7 innings, 0 runs, 5 hits on the Phils. He gets the ball tonight at the 7:05 start time. Pending weather, 7:05 start time in South Philly. Ranger Suarez also coming off I'll say an interesting start for the Phillies, where he dominated the Cincinnati Reds. 7 scoreless for him in that series. 3 hits in that matchup. That was his last start, so hopefully he'll capture a lot more of the same for Ranger Suarez as he gets the ball today for the Phils. Today, roster cuts for the Philadelphia Eagles. They get underway at 4 o'clock, or assuming they be finalized by 4 o'clock. It's just 5 names that the Eagles have to cut today. Just 5 names. I don't think you're going to see wide receivers let go in that. In that, you'll have a bunch of no-name guys, I think, is what ends up happening. Also, to last night, if you haven't seen this, if you haven't been paying attention to this and you're a baseball fan, it's worth a look. Right now, Albert Pujols is in one of his best stretches in his career at 42 years of age, in pursuit of 700 home runs. He has 7 home runs in the month of August, and another one last night. That's the most, tied right now, tied for the most in Major League Baseball in the month of August, and it's his most since 2015. He's got 8 home runs since the All-Star break, 4th most in the National League during that span, and Drew Smyly gave up a home run to him last night. He is the 449th different pitcher that Pujols has hit a home run off of. If Pujols puts one more pitcher in his home run book this season, Albert Pujols will then have homered off more pitchers than anyone in the history of baseball. The only one that has as many is Barry Bonds. He holds a Major League record at 449 pitchers who have surrendered a home run to him. Albert Pujols needs one more pitcher to become the all-time home run leader against the most pitchers. I don't know how you would phrase that, because I've never thought about it before last night, but that's what it is. Albert Pujols on an absolute tear, hitting dingers again like it's 2001. It's absolutely insane what he's been able to do so far this season in his last 2 months, I should say, coming back to the St. Louis Cardinals. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzy. Tomorrow, Seamus Clancy, Philly Voice, will join the show to talk all things Eagles and Phillies. We'll cover it all. We'll also talk some 76ers. And I got into a little bit yesterday, but one of the things I want to focus on tomorrow is this whole James Harden workout routine that is catching a lot of attention around the National Basketball Association and around the city of Philadelphia. I haven't allowed Ben Simmons' workout videos to ruin anything for me, especially if we're talking about a guy like James Harden, who has, over the last couple of years, had a reputation for not being in the best shape when the season starts. Oh, I'm going to buy in big time to a guy putting in the work in the offseason, like many are saying, like they have never seen before. So we'll get into the Eagles cuts. We'll get into James Harden. We'll get into what the Phillies are able to do tonight, I should say, against Cincinnati Reds. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. Presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a wonderful job. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Brendan Petrelli, great hustle to you. Thanks for coming on and sampling that horribly looking